Blessed day, soul family. Welcome back. Martial Mystic Calendar Series 2026. And today is Thursday, Resolution Thursday. We have this day in the week to bring our attention to dispute resolution systems. Martial arts is a dispute resolution system. And interesting, I was just watching some karate clips in the past, Karate Kid clips. The past couple of days, we've been watching Bruce Lee clips and Karate Kid clips. We're reminded of something that I watched last night. This week, we've been talking about more of dropping the mask and engaging with society, inner reflection. Something that's come up for me in my world, and I think is important for resolution and conflict resolution is self-governance. Uh, Interestingly, the phrase that I got from this generated image here was, "You are the one you've been waiting for." And interestingly, I think that says a lot about power structures, about dynamics of power, feeling empowered, or feeling lack of power. And then also because communication is a huge part of resolution. Where does communication come in terms of self-governance? So the way that this came up for me was just trying to watch a group of friends in a situation where there needs to be some collaborative work and effort, a restructuring. There's been a restructuring in a current group of people. It's not a particular person, but a current group of people. They want self-governance. I thought this was really interesting. It wasn't the word that they used, it was the word that I articulated based on what I was hearing, not having like a authority figure over them or not being beholden to somebody and taking on the tasks of the basically like the manager or the boss. How do those tasks and responsibilities get distributed? There is a role that the manager plays. There is a function that the manager plays in an organization. Sometimes they call it a point person, and basically like the go-to person could be the some sort of representative. Oftentimes, because communication is big, public a public a publicist, I think. Not necessarily a publicist. I forget the term, but there'd be some sort of like for an actor or a musician, they have maybe it's a publicist. They have someone who interfaces with the public, right? So that they don't have to. Interestingly, we see how people are now taking to the microphones and doing podcasts, and we can see long form interviews and whatnot of various people. How do you ask for self-governance? And when we look at NVC, we talk about autonomy. And autonomy is being able to fulfill your own needs without being restricted by something else or someone else. Oftentimes, it's a power struggle that keeps someone from experiencing a sense of autonomy. And so, if I were in this exercise or if I were doing this, I would ask for more communication. As someone who's seeking self-governance, I do need to have the freedom to work at my pace and not work to a place of burnout, have the ability to decide the level of involvement and energy. And at the same time, when I think about that, that requires quite a bit of communication and connection and relationship because how do I know if I'm doing a good job? How do you know when you're doing a good job and you get self-governance? How do you get feedback? So, it could be you get financial support, you get some sort of reward or accolade of some sort, you get some sort of recognition, and you may have checked off some boxes, fulfilled some tasks and duties, but it's how can you do all the work, right? All the work. The the work never gets finished or complete. So what I was thinking was if I'm in a position where where I had a boss, someone to kind of answer to, um, and I was in a position where I wanted to self-govern. There has to still be some sort of measurement of success. I don't know, that's kind of the word that comes to mind, but there needs to be some sort of feedback loop mechanism. There needs to be accountability, integrity, and trust. And the only way that I think of when I can, in order to build trust and a sense of trust is to be in communication, develop a relationship, deep relationship. So I did a little search here. I pulled some Eastern terms um, from a quick just a quick search, and here's what I came up with. Try that again. Okay, so there's 5 terms here: Xiusun, Zheran, Wu Wei, Xinsai, and Yangsung. Self-cultivation, naturalness, effortless action, fasting of the heart, nurturing life. And this is just a quick search. I'm sure we can get deeper and find some other terms, which I think I might, pursue. So, in classical Chinese philosophy, there isn't an exact one-to-one translation for the modern Western concept of self-governance. Qigong and Taoism express the idea through the concept of inner cultivation and spontaneous harmony. So this is where I kind of came to because it's like, well, if you're asking for self-governance, how do you regulate yourself? What is the range of feedback? What's the relationship of feedback? Where is the trust built, the integrity and the structure? So let's go to the first one. Shosun. This is translated as self-cultivation and self-mastery, as cultivating one's body or rectifying oneself. And this is the foundational term for personal discipline. It refers to the deliberate process of aligning your actions, emotions, and physical health. In Taoism, mastering the self is viewed as the true form of power. Oftentimes, I think in the Western lexicon, we use the word control, sort of self-control. I like the idea, the phrase self-control. Um, However, the concept and the idea and the word control, I think poses some problems because you never really have control. I think you can have a perception of control, but things are always changing, and you might be able to predict what's going to happen so long as you can maintain the conditions. Zuran, Zuran, this is translated as naturalness, um, or self-so. So, meaning spontaneity or things being naturally so. Jiran is a core principle in Taoist philosophy, and it represents governing yourself not by rigid man-made rules or forced discipline, but by acting in complete harmony with your inner. unforced nature. This is the ultimate state of self-regulation. Interesting, right? Because for me, rigid brings up the idea of dogma. You have to have some sort of structure and discipline and adhere to some law, rules, order. But that's the key, right? Man-made rules or forced discipline. My teacher always said there's discipline and then there's self-discipline. You want to have self-discipline. And in terms of acting harmoniously with your unforced nature, that's a lifetime pursuit because you have to know yourself. You have to go through a process of self discovery and exploration to have a self to regulate, possibly. The next one, Wu Wei, effortless action. Folks probably have heard that one more than these others, often translated as the doing of not doing, right? No doing. And it doesn't mean giving up or doing nothing. In terms of governing yourself, it means removing your ego and personal agenda to act in a smooth, unforced way. It's self-regulation that flows without resistance or struggle. Maintaining good habits. In order to maintain those good habits, you can't break the habit. You have to be consistent in doing and doing and doing. Regulation is doing and doing and doing until you've reached a regulating without regulating. You don't have to think about it anymore. It just happens and the habit just comes out and through. And that's doing without doing. There's a yin and a yang to that, though. You can regulate bad habits and have bad habitual doing of not doing or service and goodwill in doing of not doing. The next one is Shinsai, fasting of the heart. This is new to me. So, found in the classic Zhuangzi, this is a profound meditative state in Taoism, fasting of the heart. It refers to clearing your internal mind of distracting thoughts, desires, and biases so you can govern yourself from a place of pure, tranquil clarity. I see. So the seven passions and the six desires, those things that can trigger the emotional heart, which is the shin, those are the hooks that can lead you astray down those paths that you don't want to go down, or they have fates that you don't want to experience. But it's a profound meditative state. This maybe goes back to the concept of Jesus' heart that we talked about last week. And what I proposed was, is the Christian heart different from the heart of Jesus? Um, the next one, the last one is Yangsen, nurturing life. So this is a comprehensive Taoist and Qigong framework focused on self-governing your daily health and longevity through breath work, tuna, regulated movements, and meditation. Practitioners take charge of their life force to maintain balance. And I love the fact that they're doing a Tai Chi ball there. Yangsen, nurturing life. So notice how they're doing the movement, right? Understanding that movement nurtures energy in a balanced way. Movement uh, doesn't break down the body, make it sore, but it slowly builds the body and nourishes it and replenishes it. It Oh, I was just looking at the image of Shinsai fasting of the heart has that mirror there, which is looking at oneself. That's the concept of not being distracted. Hey, I got distracted on number five. So, yeah. And let me know what you think. And, we could explore how this pertains to conflict resolution. Um, what would be the nature or the journey of conflict if we all could self-govern? I guess that's the question that I have. So let me know what you think. Meditation tomorrow for Fearless Friday. Remember to embrace the woo and may your chi flow smoothly.